Hey, what's up, guys? It's Reed from the Digital Hell here again. In today's topic, we are actually talking about something digital for once. Isn't that crazy? So, what I've got here is a pair of digital Baofangs. Um, I got interesting how I got these. The first one, this one right here, this was late. So, Amazon was like, oh, you know what? We'll send you another one free. So, I'm like, okay, that's cool. Now I can make a video using the stock Baofeng firmware, and I'll just wait for it to boot up. So this is the stock firmware. I don't know how well or poorly it washes out on the camera, but that's what it looks like. It sucks. It sucks a whole lot, and I don't like it. I'll leave that on, actually. This one right here is on the what is OpenGD-77 firmware. So that's what that looks like. Um, I like it much better. It feels more Motorola-y, if that makes sense. And the programming is much easier too. Um, I'd say the stock Baofeng firmware is you can do more user-defined stuff. The OpenGD-77 firmware it works better, but there's less. It's like the way the keys are set up is just how they're set up in the firmware. I'm not quite good enough to like go and hex edit all that stuff. I mean, I could if I wanted to. I just don't want to bother with it because I've already learned how it's set up. This right here, all the keys are programmable on this. So you have on the side here. Well, you know what? Before I get any deeper, I'll explain the keys and whatnot on these radios. So on the side here, you have SK1, push to talk, SK2, SK3, and then definable up front, P1 and P2. And then, of course, the TMF keypad, up and down, and select, enter, menu, and kind of this, like usually like the back or cancel key. Up top, channel knob, volume knob, um, and I mean, it's the same for the one that I have OpenGD-77 on. It's just they're programmed different things. The stock Baofeng firmware switching from zones is very slow. Like it took me a whole 5 seconds to get it to go 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Yeah, so maybe not 5 seconds, but three whole seconds to switch between zones. Whereas I take my GD-77 rig and I just key SK2 here on the side, push up, and it goes to the next zone. So I went from Charleston, which is where I live, to Charleston North. I have this one set up to talk on the NCPRN system, which is a network of DMR repeaters. This one I tried to get set up to work on it. I don't know why it wouldn't do it, but it just wouldn't, and it worked very poorly. I couldn't even get my repeater's echo test feature to work on this, and I went over it again. I couldn't figure it out. But this, I plugged it in there, worked first time. You know, the only physical differences between these that I have is this one I have a Nagoya 701 antenna. This one just has the stock. I call them rubber dummies that Baofeng ship because, yeah, it's a rubber ducky, but it works better as a dummy load than anything. They're horrible. Whereas this one has the Nagoya 701, and I can get into my local DMR repeater, which is 7 statue miles of trees, houses, buildings, cars, whatnot in the way, just fine with this Nagoya 701 that I actually borrowed off a analog 5. I was on this analog 5R that I put a rubber dummy on just so that it has an antenna on it because I don't like, I mean, give me a second here. Who likes the way this looks? This looks incomplete, so I put the rubber dummy on it, and there we go. Um, I've had a couple of conversations on this one. Everybody's like, "Oh, you sound great. Don't change a thing. No modulation, no nothing." And if you were unaware, digital, the sound quality on digital just it far surpasses analog. Like here, I'll tune in to the echo test. Hopefully, being inside, I can still get in. Let me make sure nobody's on there. Okay. KM4LCF using echo test. And let's see if it reads back. KM4LCF using echo test. So yeah, that's pretty good. That's like mid 2000s cell phone quality, sound quality. I'm very pleased with the sound quality of these radios because I know a lot of people, you know, when you hear Baofeng, this is what they think of. They think of a UV5R, just kind of a stock one, maybe a Nagoya antenna, maybe not. But you say Baofeng, this is what people think of. But the DMR rigs, they all have the Ambi2 vocoders. I mean, I'm sure this is nowhere near as good as like a Motorola, what is it, XPR now, or APX. Yeah, but I paid $72 for this radio, and I got two of them for $72, so $36 per DMR rig for the price of a normal-ish price for a UV5R, and it sounds good. I mean, yeah, I understand that typical pricing on these, they're not going to be late. You're not going to get two of them for free or one of them for free. But I lucked out. $36 for a DM frickin' R, Ambi2 vocoder, full moto turbo DMR qual. This thing works on a DMR system and it sounds good. $36 a unit? Are you kidding me? That is insanely good. So if anybody disagrees with me, he's had a bad experience with these, that's fine. But even then, your typical standard price for one of these, I think Radioddity had them $99.99. Amazon's normal price was $89.99, and I got them on Prime Day for $72. So even if you pay the normal $100 price for a DMR radio that, as you just heard, sounds pretty good, and that was 7 miles there and back. Well, 7 miles there and another 7 miles back with the repeaters. I think a Motorola XTL 5000. Probably, I don't know how many watts they kick out, but it sounded good. And I usually can get about 15 miles analog, 10 miles digital. Well, I haven't put the big Nagoya antenna on. This is just the 701. This isn't even the full 771. So if I put the 771 on, I probably could get 15 miles out of it. But it would take a lot of convincing from somebody to convince me that, hey, your Baofeng that you have isn't good. The only thing it doesn't have that the Anytone, what is it, 870? I think it's the 878. Yeah, whatever like the $300 Anytone has. It doesn't have a GPS, no APRS, and I think the CPS that the Anytone has is a little bit better. One of my buddies has one. I haven't played with it yet. If I ever visit him or he comes up here, I'll probably get a chance to mess around with it. But that does have APRS. But everybody who's talked to me on this says I sound great. And whereas, I get on an analog repeater with the 5R and they're like, oh, are you using a Baofeng? And I'm like, yeah, because, I forget, it's the Kenwood or who, maybe it's an Icon, whatever the ID52, I think. Let me look that up. Bear with me for a second. ID52, I think it is. Yeah, the ICOM ID52. So I've talked to somebody using one of those in analog mode, and that sounds good. But it is a DMR. I haven't messed around with this on analog mode, which it will do. And that brings me to another point with these, with the stock Baofeng firmware and CPS. Um, it's very hard to go VFO to this like typical channel mode, but with the, I mean, you gotta like edit the settings and you can't see your channel name on the stock one. But with the shoot, what do we call this thing? The Open GD-77 channel mode here. I hit the red X button, and there I am, FM 146520, 2-meter calling frequency. And it'll do that on 446 too, so I'll just tune up to 446.000. There we go, analog, and then to change to DMR, I go to VFOB. So, well, I'll show you how to do that before I tell you how to do that. So you just click the top button here. VFOA, I have set to analog, A for analog. B for digital, because the B looks like two D's stacked. I know that's dumb, but just roll with it. Click, and there we are. I don't know why it always resets to 400 meg. That is outside the amateur band, so don't operate there. But I can go 14652, and why did I go to 50, not 52? Huh. 14652. There we have it, right? So, and it'll work just fine in VFO or what you call it, VFO or memory mode. So just to get back from your VFO to memory, hit the red key again, and there we are back on the PRN channel. So I know I went on for like 2 minutes about how much I love these things. I think you get the gist. Would I recommend buying one? Absolutely. The ones I got came with programming cables, and I would recommend flashing the GD-77 firmware as soon as you get it. I will send a link to the website for OpenGD-77, or not send a link, I'll put one in the comments so that you do it when you buy one of these. The second one I will be flashing to OpenGD-77 because I don't like the stock CPS 1-bit. Maybe I'll sell whatever this one to one of my ham buddies, or I'll just keep it around because I like these really cheap handhelds. I've got 3 5Rs, I think, a 5X3 and a 3R, and then these two. It's weird because it's like my ham radios, I like the expensive ones and I like the cheap ones. Like my favorite mobile rig, I know we're getting really tangential here, is a Motorola CDM. I love this thing, but it doesn't have the capabilities that something like whatever the little Baofeng dual bander mobile thingy is. But that CDM sounds great. I really do like Motorola. I like Motorola and I like Baofeng. I'll probably get, once I pass my general test here, I'm studying for that, and I'll be taking that in August. I'll probably get myself some type of little HF rig. But now I'm getting pretty off topic from what I came here to talk about. So, in short, I'll sum it up. Great freaking radio. Go out and get you one. And put the Open GD-77 on it when you do so. That's all I have for today. If you have any comments, questions, whatever, obviously put them in the comments section. And have a good one. 7 3s to you.